everybody, this is Christina, and it is Friday night, and I just had this idea about something that I wanted to do. And because it's Friday night, I realized that, I just finished my workout. I picked up some Thai cuisine, carry-out, some tofu, and had my dinner. And now I'm doing what probably only about 0.5% or 1% of the population is doing on a Friday evening. I am outlining my very first online course. I'm creating a product, and I'm also creating a podcast, and I'm kind of mapping out what my first 30 episodes are going to be in iTunes. So, no, I'm not drinking, no, I'm not smoking, no, I'm not at a club wearing, hardly anything. But you know what? I'm not here to judge what people are doing on Friday night, but what I do want to say is I think some of the things that they're doing are because they're trying to escape, and they're trying to find some kind of reward or happiness, because what they're doing from 9 to 5, from Monday through Friday, is it just doesn't make them happy. So on evenings and weekends, they are they're drinking to excess, they're eating to excess, they're going on shopping sprees, they're running into the arms of hopefully someone they love, but maybe a stranger. You never know. They're looking for comfort, for happiness, to feel good, to be happy, pleasure, something, because they're commuting all the time, and they're in a cubicle, or they're at a job that they don't like, and I say don't like, but some are actually really miserable and hating it, and don't even know how they're going to get through the day. They're watching the clock, they're anticipating their lunch hour, their meal, their workout after the day's over. They're waiting for Wednesday, then they're waiting for Friday, then they're they're dreading when it's Sunday. Anyway, what I'm talking about really, I'm painting a picture of my target market, my actual avatar. And why? Because it is a former version of me. Yes, that's the truth. I am very adamant about this. I have very strong opinions about about this because I've seen so much. I did, gosh, there's just so much to say about this. I was, raised by my mom. My mom was divorced. Raised by my mom. I had some early influence from my grandfather, who's very entrepreneurial, and I started learning about business and real estate because his sons, my uncles, built houses, and I was on site at these houses that they were building, and my grandfather actually had multiple streams of income. He had different businesses he was involved in, including a hardware store and some other things that I've talked about on another video. And I was learning about money, business, and real estate very young, in grade school. But my grandfather had a heart attack, he had a stroke, he had diabetes, he was not very well, and he died, I guess, I can't remember, I think it was 1980 or 82. And from then forward, I was, under the influence of my mom, who was a single mom with no college, and she really struggled financially, and it brought her a lot of stress, and she was often abusive and stuff, and I just, what she always encouraged me to do was what she didn't do, and that was to go to school. Now, we didn't have any money for that, so, and that's what I thought I was supposed to do, as most of us are told, get your degree so that you can have earning potential, and, you can have a better life than your parents, and have job opportunities, and, be productive here in society. So I went to George Mason, and it took me more than 4 years to finish. I was working and putting myself through school, the whole thing. I can't believe how expensive tuition was back then, and now it's like exponentially more. So my opinions on college, that's for another video in itself. But but anyway, I got my degree, and not just that, I graduated with honors and distinction, and got my degree in psychology, and then went on to, well, actually, I was pre-med too. I was pre-med because I had wanted to be a veterinarian, and I wanted to be a doctor, and actually cardiac surgeon. Took cardiology classes, took neurophysiology classes, microbiology, immunology, all of those things. I worked at a hospital, I worked at clinical lab, Quest Diagnostics, Roche Biomedical, all these different things. I worked at primary care practice and a specialty practice, the ambulatory care center at George Washington University. I worked at MedStar. Oh my gosh, I have done a lot of stuff. I'm actually I look back over my life sometimes like an inventory, and I'm like, wow. And it was just to try to better myself and everything, but, you know, I learned that I didn't want to be in the healthcare field, that it wasn't, you know, really about prevention. It was about treatment, and there's place for that. But I'm more about prevention and healthy lifestyles and working out and eating well. So I'm like, gosh, I don't want to do this. So what I did is I got involved in IT, so healthcare information systems and clinical applications and stuff like that, and kind of been in the IT field since 1996. And I have had some very exciting client engagements along the way. I've been a consultant with Oracle and Accenture. I worked on a bioterrorism surveillance system for Washington, D.C. I've done a lot of projects for DoD and the military healthcare system, TRICARE, DHHQ, DIACAP accreditations, privacy, impact assessments. I have my CIPP. I have done system security plans. I understand information, technology, architecture, source code, software development lifecycle, use cases, eliciting, documenting, and diagramming requirements for software development, liaison between stakeholders and our application development and test teams. I've done so many things, and I've worked on, you know, international counterterrorism initiatives with the FBI, just a lot of different things here. And I realized in, I guess, the mid-2000s, somewhere around there, that I just, it wasn't me. It wasn't fulfilling. I mean, my dreams are bigger than a cubicle. I mean, I need to have autonomy, latitude. You know, I'm very creative, and I need to exercise that. It was very under-exercised in corporate America, and we could go on and on about about how, you know, W-2 income is not advantaged. It's not tax advantaged. So there's no write-offs. I mean, it's crazy. It really is. So, you know, once I got to a certain point in my career, I really plateaued as far as salary is concerned. And I think since 2006, I've been making a six-figure income. But in order to make more in the, you know, in the confines of that system, you have to move on to project management or program management, and that requires a whole lot, you know, a whole nother level of commitment and work and planning and just sort of an overarching view of a lot of different things. PMI certification, because people around here they're just so hung up on certifications, like as if you can't do something without a piece of paper. Anyway, I had a decision to make. Am I going to do that kind of work for somebody else just to get paid, you know, maybe $20,000 or $30,000, $40,000 more, or am I going to go work for myself? So I decided to go work for myself, and of course that did not start off easy at all, because you're an employee and you do not have sales and marketing skills. You don't even know how to convey to people what you do. You don't even know how to sell yourself, let alone, you know, a product. So there's a lot to learn. There's definitely a curve. There's a different way of thinking. There's a mind shift that has to happen. And I sought out mentors. And actually, a lot of my I've had so many different mentors. Some of them have been through online courses, some of them have been through books, some of them have been through coaching, some have been friends, some of them I've passively observed online. And I will tell you something, I'm just humbled to say this, that you're going to learn something from everybody. Everybody. I mean, they don't have to have a degree. In fact, some of the most improbable people will be the ones who teach you the most. And what I mean by that is I have learned so much from people that are half my age, because they're in their 20s. They grew up on the internet. They grew up on social media. And I'm very tech savvy because that's the field that I've been in, but they just have every advantage, and they're just, and they also, like, they see their parents struggling. They know their parents can't retire. They've seen that their parents have lost money in the stock market. They're very smart, and they have access immediately to all this kind of information, and it's not just like when, the internet started back in, when I got involved in it, where all the websites were just purely HTML and text-based. I mean, there's just, you can reach anybody now with Twitter, and it's all social now. And there's groups, and you can just network with like-minded people. They're so easy to find. So you can really customize your media stream. So anyway, I've learned a lot from people that are like half my age. I've learned a lot from people that have never gone to, college or maybe even high school dropouts. And why? Because those kind of people start businesses. They're solopreneurs. They've got their back up against the wall. They have to make something happen. Do you think that they have learned something along the way? They don't have the plan B or backup that you have if you have experience, if you have a good resume, if you have a degree. No, they have to learn and learn fast. And wow, I mean, this video is getting long, but and the thing is, you also learn from people who you don't like, because you learn